everyone, welcome back to the Tooth Fairy Tales, the magic behind dentistry. I am your Light Dental Studios Tooth Fairy, and today I have a very special guest with me, Dr. Jim Gagliardi.
Hey Tooth Fairy, how's it going?
Very good. Thanks for being here today.
Happy to be here.
I am really excited because Dr. Gagliardi actually went to Washington State University for his undergrad and also to the University of Washington to become a dentist. And for those of you who don't know, that's kind of fun because there's a strong rivalry between the two colleges. So where does your loyalty lie?
Well, I kind of have dual citizenship, both at home and amongst all the Light Dental personnel. But when it comes to apple time, I'm pretty much a cougar.
Ah, go Cougs!
Yeah.
Dr. Gagliardi is with us today to teach us about the importance of sports mouth guards. Dr. Gagliardi, why are sports mouth guards so important?
The way the sports guard will work is it's a cushion between the upper jaw and the lower jaw. Now most people used to think, oh, we're wearing these sports guards because we don't want to chip your teeth or we don't want to break a tooth off or knock a tooth out. And they can help that way too, but I think just as important, if not more important, what we're doing is we're keeping the two jaws apart, and right here where these two jaws meet, if you're hit very hard, like in the chin, it's going to drive the bottom of your jaw into the top, and it transfers that energy right into your brain, and you get rattled pretty good. So what this does is it prevents this ball and socket joint from imploding on itself, so that when you get hit, you can still get the shock of being hit, but you're not driving the ball and socket joint right up into that socket. And so in that way it sort of mitigates or it dissipates some of the force.
Wow, that is really fascinating. I learned something new today because I didn't realize that it could also, when you're being hit, could affect both your jaws and your head. I was thinking just your teeth, so it really serves multiple purposes in keeping people protected. When would be an appropriate time for kids to start wearing a mouth guard?
When they start into sports, think about what the potential injuries could be, and if there looks like there's a place for a sports guard in there, then that would be the time to do it.
Can our friends with braces wear mouth guards, or should they?
Yeah, it's a little bit trickier for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of the more customized sports guards are fit specifically to the teeth.
Yes.
And when you're wearing brackets, and although I know a lot of people are doing Invisalign now, there still are things attached to their teeth. And if you boil and fit this and it fits over it, that's all well and good, but sometimes they can get stuck.
Yes.
And the other thing too, and you could probably clear this with your orthodontist, is that if you're wearing a fixed sized appliance and you're trying to move teeth, that may impinge upon or restrict the actual tooth movement itself. So it would have to be a kind of a sports guard that had a lot of free space in there for it to move around. It would still help against the impact, but there'd be enough space in there for the teeth to move the way the orthodontist intended it to.
Our next question is, where can we get sports mouth guards at?
You can get them pretty much any sports authority type store, you know, anybody that sells sporting equipment. Have them professionally made. We make some in the office. They're not super high tech. You can have some made in a commercial laboratory that are a bit more sophisticated, particularly if your teeth are done growing and they're not going to go anywhere. You can get a pretty high caliber one.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's make a mouth guard.
In this particular fashion in our office, what we'll normally do is we'll take a mold of your teeth, just with a gooey plastic material, and we'll make a stone cast. So this is just made out of plaster, and it's very specific to the individual. And then this machine is basically a heater and a vacuum machine.
Wow.
And that's all it really is. And so to do this, we'll simply put in this flexible rubber material, and we have all different colors in case somebody has a preference. Some of them are pretty wild, but this is pretty basic. And we just pop it in there like that, and we'll lift that up, and then we'll slide over this heater. This is just a heating element. If you looked at it underneath, it's just like something you'd see on the top of your burner when you're at home. And now we just turn it on, and we'll just put it over here until it starts getting hot.
Perfect.
Once this gets hot enough, this material is going to soften up and it's going to sag. And then we're going to put this in here like that. We're going to pull this down over it. I'm going to hit this switch, and it's going to pull a vacuum across it and suck it right down on the tooth.
Wow, excellent.
Teeth, I should say. So we'll just turn off the heat. Pull that down.
Wow.
And that's going to be on hot for a few minutes.
Yeah, we'll just let it sit. So we can trim it.
Yeah. Compare it to one that's not customized. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it comes hot off the press.
Awesome.
Not that hot anymore, but you can see it's been adapted to the specific shape of this person's arch. And when I trim this off, you'll be able to see what it looks like on the inside. This is the same one, we just trimmed that one up before, but it's a simple matter of just getting some handy scissors in here. Now, when you trim this, the thing about it is you need to have it in such a fashion that it doesn't push on your gum tissue or up underneath your cheek or your lips, because that's where the old style mouth guards used to be so uncomfortable for us in Little League and that, because they weren't trimmed very well. And there it is.
Voila!
Like that.
All done.
This is our standard boil and fit type of mouth guard, and it's simply a matter of heating it up in hot water, and then just before you put it in your mouth, you might want to dip it a little bit in cold water just to take the edge off of it, because once it gets in there, you don't want to get something similar to a pizza burn.
Yeah.
That can happen. So I would say if you're going to err on the side of not so hot. If you put it in there and it won't mold to your teeth, it probably needs to be a little bit warmer.
And the important thing is just to wear it. Just to wear it if you're playing sports. If you guys have any questions for Dr. Gagliardi, go ahead and leave a comment below. And if you guys want to see him, he works out of our Fur Crest office, which is so beautiful. You guys will absolutely love it. And for more free content, don't forget to subscribe below. And don't forget to keep brushing, flossing, and smiling.